So we are finally ready now. The much anticipated matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Super Bowl 37.
They couldn't catch another shit. Cannons like the loaded, so it's time to flip the script. Cruising through the bay on that Buccaneer battleship, sold up, screaming out, so Buc what you heard. So Buc what you heard. So Buc what you heard. So Buc what you heard.
All right, welcome back to Buc What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buc What You Heard. You follow me, I will follow you back. I promise I will. I'm joined by my co-host, the man, KB Ken Barrett. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, Gene. It's nice to be back after like a couple weeks, you know.
Yeah, we kind of had a bye week, I guess. We could call it our Buc What You Heard bye week.
Yeah, we had it a week early.
All right. So tonight, we've got the bye week right now, and we've had some really, really tough games, the past two games. But you know what? I'm not mad. I was mad. I'm not mad anymore. If that makes any sense.
Oh no, it makes total sense. I mean, I went on a hella rant during the Rams game.
Remember, I saw that.
Yeah, dude, I was like there, and I'm just the entire time because I don't know if you know, but I won tickets to the game from Paige DeMarcos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you guys are like this then?
No, it was a contest through the Arians Family Foundation.
Oh,
really? I guess I'll use it as a plug. If you guys haven't donated or seen anything like that, you can find it on Twitter, and there's a bunch of information for a lot of giveaways both Jake and Paige are doing.
All right, that's what's up. Jake Arians, man, really a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
If you and I do plug, I cross promote, as you can tell. I've got on my UK Bucs t-shirt from my guys across the pond, representing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they always do. The UK Bucs, if great organization, if you can catch up with them or follow them on Twitter, they're definitely a good follow. Jake Arians, really knowledgeable, very football knowledge.
He played in the NFL. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, and the fact that he knows schemes, he understands, he knows what's going on. You'd be hard pressed to find somebody that like a layman that could go up against him and question what he's talking about. But if you get a chance, Loose Cannons just released their podcast. What was it, Monday?
Yeah, Monday or Tuesday.
Shout out to Loose Cannons, Poppy Latte, Stank, Sammer, and my guy, the X Factor, the X Man. We had him on here. That was definitely a fun show to have him on. But this is one of those things where you kind of have to take a step back and say, where are the Bucs right now? And a good thing about this is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now are not in a bad position. I mean, if in the grand scheme of things, if we compare where the Bucs were last year to where the Bucs are now, are you stressed? I mean, like, I know last year we were pissed off because of the games they were losing, and this was going on, this is going on, and you're like, man, what do they got to do to get over the hump? And now we look at where the Buccaneers are right now, and would you say, just now that you've had a chance to kind of breathe and take a step back and look at everything, how do you feel about where this team is right now?
The team itself, I'm not worried about. It's, the style of play that we play, it's going to be hard to have those, 14-2, 13-3 type records in general. We just make the game very, very complicated from a schematic point, both offensively and defensively. So, I mean, you just got to roll with the punches. It's Tom Brady's first year. he's still not on the same page with receivers. It's just been, a shit show. But the fact that it's been a shit show and we're still 7-5, we just went past the hardest 4-game stretch of our schedule. Now we're going to our easiest 4-game stretch of our schedule. It's still a great opportunity to lock up a 5-6 seed and see where we go.
Yeah. And a lot of the show tonight, and I know people are thinking we're talking too far ahead, but we're really not. I mean, when you look at it, we have a bye week, or the Buccaneers have a bye week, and then you've got 4 more games. So you definitely, this is a conversation that needs to be had right now, is where are the Bucs? Where are we? As a team, as a fan base, where are they? And I think they're in a really good position, and I want to talk about this a lot tonight. I know Bucs Go Gang in the house is talking about the coach needs to be fired. Dude, you got 7 wins. You're at 7 wins right now. And when you look at the schedule, right now, you've got the Vikings, you've got the Lions, and then you've got the Atlanta Falcons twice. And you're looking at a team that could potentially go to the playoffs for the first time since when?
08?
07.
07, yeah. Well, I knew it was Gruden's last year.
Yeah. And so that you need to have that in perspective, because over the last 10 years, this team has never been in this position.
No. And then, remember that one time the Bucs had an opportunity in Dallas to secure a final wild card spot, and Ezekiel Elliott jumped in the Salvation Army Cup, and we were all just crying. Like, that was. We own our own destiny
for days when he jumped into that bucket.
Hey, he's raised a lot of money with that, and he got fined a big ton for that too. But
it was
that was just the epitome of the night.
It was all for a good cause. Hey,
it was Sunday Night Football, man. It was flex and everything, and that was our last real opportunity at the playoffs.
You can't go wrong. Hey, we have a special guest in the building. Let me bring her on. Ruth.
What up, fellas? Can you hear me clearly? I was having a little bit of mic issues. Can you hear me?
I had one Tuesday or Monday. I'm with you, girl.
Okay, cool.
It took me like 7 hours to solve it.
Yeah, I got it done. Thanks for having me on. It feels good to be back on Bucs What You Heard. How's everybody doing out there?
Doing good. And let me give you the proper introduction here. This is Ruth the Truth. You can find her on the Martin Gramatica Show. And tell everybody, let me give you a plug, because I love your work. I think you do a great job, and you're always appreciated. Like I said, you're a friend of the show, and I got some surprises for you tonight. But go ahead and tell everybody.
I'm excited. Yeah. Well, as you know, you gave me a great intro, as you did. I am Ruth the Truth. You can find me on Beauty in the Cleats podcast, which we will be filming live at 8 p.m. tonight. I'm also on the Tom Gronkowski Show. It's a show that we talk about specifically Brady and Rob Gronkowski and their move from the Town to the Bay. And then you can find me Monday through Friday on zliving.com on the Martin Gramatica Show. It's another little host show that I do on the mornings, and that is actually on live television.
That's right there. That's the evolution of TV then, huh? You're right. Fans can get in on Skype, That's kind of dope.
Yeah, you literally could Skype in on the show and be on international television, like live. And I'm not really sure why not a lot of people do it. I don't know if people are a little skeptical about being, on camera live.
I think they're scared. Probably.
It's a lot. But we will be getting our phone lines back up on the Martin Gramatica Show, so you guys could call us in on the show and just be live audioly and not through visual.
Yeah, but it's all fun. I got to call in there.
You did. Thanks. I appreciate you chatting it up with us.
Yeah, I love the show. I love what you guys do, and I think you're a bonus to that show, and what you bring. So just keep on doing your thing.
I'm still a baby at this. I'm still baby Ruth at the end of the day, and it's just gonna, I'm always evolving, so always getting up. I'm gonna be full time on the show for now on, so you will see my face everywhere. I'm actually in the process of moving to Tampa because I've been doing that drive from Orlando to Tampa 5 days a week, and I'm ready to just,
I-4.
Can't do it anymore. Yeah, I-4 is driving me nuts. Never. You guys wouldn't believe what I saw on I-4 this morning. You would think
I would believe
that I saw everything.
Did you see a standstill or something?
There was a complete standstill because there was an RV on fire on I-4.
That doesn't surprise
up
me.
in flames.
Florida is God's waiting room, so I mean, it doesn't really surprise me, to be honest. I mean, you could see anything.
Right.
Well,
I feel like somebody was trying to go on vacation and their vacation got burned up real quick.
That's sad, man. That's just crazy but this is 2020. What can you expect?
Exactly.
I want to jump in here. I want to talk about the Bucs, and we are going to talk about your team as well. Do we
have to?
Yeah, actually, this is good. This is not, they're like my arch enemies, but because we're friends, I'm going to be nice.
Well, we just went off on Ezekiel Elliott, that whole Salvation Army thing for a couple of days.
Yeah, and how much money he raised jumping into the bucket and that kind of thing. So
and crushed Buccaneers' hopes in the process. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I remember that. So this 2020 season has been crazy.
No.
I mean, you had a NFL football game on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday night. Like, it's supposed to be ladies' night, and the men just completely invaded, but it's okay. I was all for it. I watched the whole entire game on the edge of my seat. It was great.
Yeah. So, just with the way the NFL is shaping up right now, I'm going to kind of dive into this. KB, I'm going to start with you and work my way around here. Let's look at these teams. You've got the New Orleans Saints with the number 1 seed, and this is just as of right now. New Orleans Saints with the number 1 seed. Seattle is 2. Green Bay, who we faced, who the Bucs have faced. The New York Giants, who the Bucs have faced, is 4. And I want to talk about number 4. And when you look at number 4, the Philadelphia Eagles are 3-5-1. The Dallas Cowboys are 2-7. So because this is 2020, anything can happen. If Dallas wins out, Dallas could be your number 4 seed.
Yeah, now Dallas is 3-8 right now.
3-8. Sorry, 3-8. Sorry. Yeah, so Dallas is 3-8, but this ain't over.
No.
This is not
sad to say.
But again, you never know what can happen. I mean, what was I think the Arizona Cardinals had a really horrible record when they went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
I think they had a rotten winning percentage of 08. I got to pull that up. I'll pull that up later.
I believe the Seahawks did too. Didn't they go 7-9 in the
they beat the Saints on the Marshawn Lynch hold my dick run.
Yeah, basically that's pretty much what it was.
Well, he created an earthquake. That stadium, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, people are like jumping out the window because, the Bucs lost to Kansas City, and it was a game they should have won. There was a lot of plays that were missed. There was a lot of yards left on the field, a lot of drop passes, and just poor execution overall.
Right.
But when you look at where Tampa is now, and you compare where Tampa was last year this time, they're not in a bad position. And you look at this, they're going into a bye week. Week 13, they have a bye.
Yeah.
Where everybody else is going to be playing. I mean, New Orleans is playing, Seattle's playing, Green Bay, on down the line, everybody's playing this week, the exception of Tampa. And so that plays into a really good scenario for the Buccaneers moving forward, where they control their own destiny. And when I say that, I mean, you have to win out. They have to go out and win. When you look at this, what are your thoughts, Ruth, on, where Tampa is and what they're doing?
So after watching Sunday's performance, I wasn't upset because I know, as you said, poor execution, but it seemed like they were able to get some type of camaraderie after halftime. I'm just disappointed with how the defense performed in the first half. I was just like, okay, you go down 17-0. I feel like our cornerbacks were just like, they didn't know what to do with Tyreek Hill. How do you let him get 200 yards before halftime? I mean, he was completely unstoppable. So I was a little bit disappointed with how our defense played. But overall, I know going into this bye week, the thing I'm most worried about when it comes to going into this bye week is the COVID virus. Are these players going to, respect the protocols, do what they have to do, wear masks, not go out, not go travel on vacation or do something crazy? Are they going to be able to come out of this bye week stronger than when they went in? Because as we've seen, some of the teams in the NFC East, when they have their bye week, they come out slow. Green Bay, as we've seen. They come off their bye week and Tampa Bay completely destroyed them, only scoring 10 points in the first quarter. So I'm a little worried with us coming off the bye week, but we have Minnesota, the Falcons. Then we have the Falcons at the end of the season. And who do we play? Is it Detroit
Lions? Yeah.
The Detroit Lions. So those are 4 totally winnable games. But when it comes to Atlanta Falcons, the defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need to be on point because Matt Ryan is passing yards left and right, and they're putting up points. I mean, we saw them defeat the Las Vegas Raiders 6-43. So obviously this team is very potent when it comes to their offense. So the defense needs to step up, but we're in a good position. I mean, playoffs are just a reach from us. So I don't know. I'm feeling good about the Bucs right now.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. KB. Oh, by the way, Jessica, Kenny, Tyler says to tell you hi. FYI. Go ahead. You're muted.
You're still muted. I know that he was blocking the dog. The dog was barking in the background, and then my dog's over there completely.
The hound was trying to chime in, and I know you had to mute your mic, but
you're not back yet.
Let me see if I can
But yeah, I mean, the Chiefs were going to be a tough game regardless. I mean, I know Patrick Mahomes is the way an entity on his own, you know?
And just the way they play. I mean, they've been tough for everybody. I mean, I look at the game, the Carolina Panthers played them tough. This has just been a team that they've put wins together and they've done what they needed to do to win. Right. On the AFC, I mean, I haven't even looked at the AFC side of it, but I mean, when you've got the Pittsburgh Steelers playing at a high level and the Kansas City Chiefs playing at a high level, and you got to consider the Tennessee Titans and what they're doing. They're playing at a high level. So 2020 has not let me down with all the different surprises that they've thrown in there. Mm-hmm. And it's just gonna be crazy how everything's gonna work out. You back?
Who would have thought that the Washington football team would be leading the NFC East right now? Like, who would have thought? The team that had so much controversy during the offseason, they don't even have a logo or a name, like a proper name for a football team. And then they had Ron Rivera.
Washington Generals. That's, basketball. If you're a basketball purist, you know who the Washington Generals are. The Harlem Globetrotters. Yeah. Still nothing, bro. You broke it.
You broke it. Now you got to go back another 7 hours and figure this mic situation out. But we enjoy seeing your face at least.
Yeah, maybe it's the Hound. He probably did it, but enough about it. He's gone to the backup. Okay, so while we're waiting on that, we're looking at these different teams and we're looking at their schedules, and let's see. Let me see if I bring him. How about now?
We're getting closer. I feel it.
You're getting close. No, nothing.
What about now?
Yes, you are back.
It was one simple button.
I know. I've hit it. I've hit it like 3 times, but it wasn't working on my Bose, so I just went old school wired.
Oh wow, he had to go back to the Bose. Okay.
Throw it back.
Yeah, now. No. Yeah. So what have I missed?
No, we're just kind of looking. We were just looking at some of the the schedules and some of these teams and what they have going on, like the New Orleans Saints. The Saints, it looks like week 13.
They have Atlanta next.
They have Atlanta, Philadelphia, Kansas City, week 15.
Yes, I'm super excited to see the New Orleans Saints and Kansas City matchup. Are we expecting Drew Brees to be back by then, or?
That's still undetermined. I mean,
think he comes back week 17 and does like a trial run before the playoffs is what I would guess. He's got so many broken ribs. Like,
I mean, at this point in time and this far into the season, I think it would be the Saints' best interest to probably rest him as much as possible and just let Tyson Hill run the ball in the end zone and see if that, the defense can carry that team.
Yeah, and this is the thing. They're going up against an Atlanta Falcons team that got embarrassed the last time they played. Yeah. This is a division rival. This is not. I would be shocked if this is going to be. I think
Atlanta only scored 9 points against them.
Yeah,
but then the following week they throw out 43 against the Raiders. I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah, 24-9.
Yeah.
24-9 that week
And
11.
last year, the Falcons basically shut out the Saints at New Orleans. So I mean, the division, anything can happen.
Yeah, and this is a genuine rivalry where they both hate each other. So this is going to be interesting here. And then, like we were talking about, you've got the Philadelphia Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Minnesota Vikings, and then the Carolina Panthers is the last game of the season for the Saints. So that right there, that's your number 1 seed. Seattle, I think Seattle may have an easier path.
Oh, they have the easiest path I've ever seen, man. If I thought the Bucs schedule was easy the last 4 games, man.
So
yeah,
I have the entire NFC East potentially.
They face everybody in the NFC East pretty much, right?
Yeah, plus
so
1.
you've got the Giants, the Giants, the Jets, the Washington Generals, the LA Rams, and then they got the Niners. And these are division rivalry games here. So it still remains to be seen what's going to happen here. But these first 3 games, man, they have to go out and, would you rest some players? I mean, is this one of those situations where do you rest some players, or I don't know what you do in this situation, but these are games where sometimes players get hurt or something happens, and these are scary games because the Giants have nothing to lose. The Jets really have nothing to lose. And the Washington football team, I guess
playing for a title, man.
Yeah, they are.
I guess you're right.
They are.
When you think about it, yeah. So that's crazy. But that's what the Seahawks are up against right there. And then your number 3 seed, the Green Bay Packers. It looks like they have Arizona. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the preseason. Sorry. Let's see. They have on the 6th, they've got Philadelphia, Detroit,
and the Lions.
Yep. Carolina, and then Tennessee. That Tennessee game should be pretty good.
Yes.
That's going to be a really good test to see where Green Bay is. And then they have
Green Bay has not been able to stop the run all season. So I feel like
Derrick Henry in
go
December,
for another 200-yard night with 3 touchdowns.
So is Henry on your fantasy football team?
I wish
to.
I picked up Zeke because I'm all like, Zeke is the man. Zeke is like top, 5 running back in the league. Let me pick him up. Oh, wait, you're only getting me 2 points?
I picked your boy Dak in like every league I was in this year.
Yes.
Oh my God.
He was such a value everywhere.
Real tears when he went down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't understand how you could digress, or you could just, I don't know, just like completely backwards from the season before. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I know that you're missing Dak. I mean, there's a lot of your offensive line that are new, that are hurt. I get it, but I don't know. I'm very disappointed.
Well, they invested nothing in the defense. That's the sad
and I
thing.
think that's what really
they just
hurt.
can't stop anyone.
Yeah.
But again, and I hate to say this, I'm going to continue to say this until Jerry Jones retires.
He's not gonna.
Yeah, but I mean, Stephen Jones,
he's gonna die. The Cowboys GM.
I do not see
his
the Dallas
son
Cowboys
is sliding right into that position, and you already know if that's his kid, he's going to be running things no matter what.
But I don't think he's as smart as Jerry. Personally.
Yeah, and Jerry's a dumber version of Al Davis, if I could say that, because Al Davis was like, I'll take a chance. I'll gamble.
Al Davis looked at the speed ratings on Madden and said, I want him.
But I'm serious.
We'll get you in sometimes,
But seriously, if you think about it, I mean, Dallas has not been right since Barry Switzer was the head coach. I think that was the last time they really, and they were playing with Jimmy Johnson's team for the most part.
Right, exactly.
So when I look back at that and I look at the decisions that Jerry Jones has made throughout his career, the coaching decisions that he's made, I like Jarrett. I thought that Jarrett was a decent coach. I just feel like when you've got a general manager and a son and they're working together, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it works.
Right. Well,
and I know every year you say this is our year, but just the culture of that team, I don't know. I'm just the outsider looking in though.
Yeah. I feel like when people come to Dallas, there's such, I don't know, pressure of being a Dallas Cowboy that it maybe kind of gets to these players' heads sometimes. I'm not really sure, but it needs to switch it up because I'm trying to see a Super Bowl win for my Dallas Cowboys before I pass away. In my lifetime, please. Thank you.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
This far in my life, I can't go choose another team. So it's like I feel like I'm stuck with them for life. I mean, especially after I purchased a $500 Tony Romo ball, like I feel like I'm kind of stuck.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't got some Dallas Cowboys ink there to kind of seal the deal.
So I've been saying this for years. If the Dallas Cowboys wins a Super Bowl, I will tap the star somewhere on my body.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm tattooed. You can't really tell, but like I'm completely tattooed from like here down.
Well, I believe you. I'm just saying that, that's commitment. If you get like your team tattooed on your body, that's commitment right there. Right.
And or you could be like a college student and change your commitment. There. That always makes me die every year. There's someone who commits to Auburn and then goes to Alabama.
There you go.
And they get tatted up, that Auburn Tiger right there, the AU, and then they go to Bama.
Yeah. So I want to get over to the chat.
Wouldn't you go to Bama if you had the opportunity to go to Bama?
Ooh, I mean, if I had the chance to play, I don't think I'd ever play at Bama.
I mean, if I were like a ball boy or water boy or something like that, yeah, or you're selling peanuts in the stand, yeah, I guess so, but there's no chance of me. There's no chance of me playing there.
Right. Well, I'm still waiting on your video, this basketball video that you've been promising me.
Okay. You painted me into a corner here. I'm gonna shoot that video this weekend.
Thank you. I'll go hold the camera if you.
Yeah, bye week. You have Sunday, dude.
See that jumper? I swear, I'm doing it this weekend.
I haven't touched the basketball in almost 4 weeks, and it's making me like kind of depressed. Like I pull up every day into my house, and my hoop is just looking at me like, "Oh, you're neglecting me now. Like we're not together no more." You
got to get on that.
I know. I haven't been home.
Let that jumper go to waste.
I know. Yeah, working 7 days a week, so it's piling up on me.
If you don't know the story, we were on social media. And I kind of threw a little bit of shade at her, just a little bit, a tad bit. And so what does she do? She brings my name in there and drops this video of her just dropping shots, just dropping jumpers, just bucket after bucket. And so I was like, okay.
And I had people asking me like, oh, how many times did you have to shoot that video to make all those shots? And I said, one. If you don't believe me, then
because it's Ruth the truth.
But one, like the truth,
Yeah, that's right, Ruth, the truth. I want to kind of get back. We can get back to football here just a little bit. Ahmad Whitaker is saying Bruce is extremely arrogant. Brady has won Super Bowls than Bruce, more Super Bowls than Bruce has won playoff games. Again, I've got to take a step back. I mean, I was furious. Like I said, I was furious on Sunday. Furious. I mean, just watching that game and watching everything that went down. And looking at the level of talent that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have, I mean, from Rojo to your wide receiver core to your tight ends, Cameron Brate and some of your other tight ends that are out there. Just how this team is put together, and I just expect so much more. And then I don't know if you've watched. Do you watch the Loose Cannons podcast? Do you ever get to watch those guys?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, if you get a chance, guys, please watch that Loose Cannons podcast. Help me out here, Aaron.
Are you trying to get the name Stammer Poppy?
Oh yeah, Stammer Poppy, Stank, and X-Man, and Bruce Arians' son was on, and he did a really good breakdown of this game, and he explained a whole lot of things. And it kind of like took me back, and I was like, you know what? The Bucs have 7 wins right now. Mm-hmm. The Bucs are in a prime position. They've got the number 6 seed. They just have to fix right now. There's nothing we can do about the games they've lost. They just have to fix it moving forward and go and win out if they can. And it puts them in a really good position for the playoffs. And again, I'm talking about the playoffs now because this is where my expectations are. KB, these are where your expectations are. Ruth, this is where your expectations are, is that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with the level of talent they have on both sides of the ball, go to the playoffs. Am I wrong here?
No.
Absolutely not.
So, there were some things that I understood what they were saying on the Loose Cannon podcast, but there are players that need to be on the field. You need to be running the ball. You need to be feeding your running back the ball.
Where's
And-
Shane McCoy?
On the bench.
On the
He had
bench.
one snap last week.
I
But, like,
do not
why?
believe but he's lost a step. I don't know
Him
if
and
you remember
Fournette both have, if you ask me.
Yeah,
If
him
you-
and Fournette. I mean, Fournette got hot though, and then Rojo got hot, and then Rojo got cold, and Leonard Fournette got hot, and then they just kept switching back and forth. But now it seems that Rojo is kind of our starter and the one that we should roll with, which I kind of said that from the beginning. I wasn't too big of a fan of Fournette coming from, Jacksonville Jags. You might have been. I mean, I know he was an amazing
He's the
player.
president of the Rojo fan
Yeah,
I
club.
know
I'm the
that he
president.
was, I know he was a great running back for LSU, but I mean, I wasn't impressed with his performance in Jacksonville. So when we signed Fournette, I was kind of like, you know what? This is a good veteran running back to help Rojo, develop his game even more. And that's what I feel like has happened. And it's definitely given Rojo more pressure to step up his game for him to get more snaps, to get more playing time. I mean, I was
Yeah.
impressed. Did you guys see that hurdle? Like, the kid had to be running track.
Oh no, he's always does impressive stuff. He just until a couple weeks ago, he just never broke one, and then now he's broken, I guess, 2 in the past couple weeks. So
Yeah.
I mean, he just got to catch the ball and he's got to block, because on the first interception of Brady, he missed the block.
Yeah, and that they talked about that, and I think that's why they set him down, was because of missing that block.
Oh, it's not just that; it's the whole season. It's whenever he's dropped and whenever he's missed a block, they yank him immediately, and he's out for a quarter or two.
Right.
before
I
he
was
goes
really
back
happy
in.
to see him have a receiving touchdown, because that's something that
First one of his career.
everybody's been on him about. Oh, you can't catch the ball when we need you to. Your hands are buttery, whatever, all that crap.
What a fingers.
Yeah, but again, Leonard Fournette is not doing that much better, is he?
No.
I mean, realistically, and for Leonard Fournette's size, I would think that this is a man that would be running north and south. And when I see him hitting the hole, he kind of reminds me of a young LeGarrette Blount.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys can remember back to when LeGarrette Blount first came to Tampa. He wouldn't decisively hit a hole. He would just oh, okay. And then there were times where he would hit the wrong hole. And that's kind of what I'm seeing with Leonard Fournette at times, is that, they're handing the ball off to him. He's running and he's hitting the wrong hole, or, he's not getting
He's
sprung.
doing it all the time. Literally, you can go on Twitter and look this up. There is a big V of a hole, and he jump cuts away from it into double teams into his own lineman.
Right.
This is what he's doing consistently.
Mhm.
And it's just becoming more and more of an issue, because at that point, it's not the offensive line's fault.
Right.
For the past couple of years, they've been getting a lot of bad heat in Tampa, for better or for worse. I mean, it is what it is, but now that we've seen, their pass blocking has gotten better. And I think the run blocking is the best it's been in the past 5 years as it is right now. And it seems like they still couldn't get anything. And it's only Rojo's the one who's been really breaking him. Fournette broke a couple early, but then it's been ghost town since. It's because he's making bad reads.
Oh, L. Bushman is asking you to name one Ramones song.
Rock and Roll High School. I Want to Be Sedated.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say that.
Something to Believe In was probably one of my favorites.
Uh-oh.
Do you guys watch Entourage?
Yeah, I love
I
Entourage.
heard about it.
Vinny Chase plays
Yes,
Joey
yes.
Ramone in one of the fake movies that they made.
Oh, okay.
L. Bushman calling you out now, Ruth. What are you going to do about it?
Keep calling me out, Evan. I'm ready. This is Ruth the Truth. Come on. You think I'm gonna wear a shirt and not know the music? Come on now. I mean, it is a cute shirt, by the way, that I've had since high school, if I can mention.
Very
But
punk.
believe it or not, it's almost been 10 years since I graduated high school.
That's what I'm talking about,
I'm
right?
about to
there.
have my high school reunion, guys. It's so weird.
I just
How
got
you
my
feeling about
5-year
it?
college reunion. I was like, holy shit.
So I want to kind of rewind, because we didn't really do anything for Thanksgiving, because it was Thanksgiving, so we didn't really do a show. How was your Thanksgiving? What did you end up doing?
Me?
Yeah.
I worked a double at work and made almost $500.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Time and a
It was
half,
really
baby.
disappointing to have to work Thanksgiving, but I'm only going to be in the restaurant biz for I put in my resignation letter, and my last day is December 27th. So I'm finally hanging up the bartender apron and all that jazz. So this is my last holidays working. And what are you guys doing for New Year's? Because I'm going to be kicking New Year's off right, because I'm not going to be at work for the first time in 6 years.
I'm playing by the rules. I know. and this is the new Gene. I'm playing by the rules. I'll be home, social distancing till we can get this all cleared up. Because 2021, I will be traveling a lot.
Right.
I'm actually carrying over another week of PTO, so I like my first trip will be Dominican Republic
Go to Punta Cana. My family is from DR. You will love Punta Cana. Go stay at the Soy Melial.
Yeah, I normally go to Bani, San Cristobal, and La Playa Palenque, and Don Gregorio.
Yo,
I go down.
your accent is on point. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, y'all like are like rolling R's and dropping these
and my
accents, and I'm just like, yo hablo inglés.
My aunt lives in Yaguate.
Oh,
in the south. Yeah,
nice. Nice.
So yeah, it's I love going there. It's always fun. I always have a good time. I was planning to go this year, but didn't happen.
Yeah, I was supposed to go in May. It was going to be 54 of my family members RSVP'd to all stay at one resort. So we were like taking over a whole section of the resort, and then COVID happened. So
I've actually never been to a resort in DR.
Oh my gosh. The all-inclusive was where it's at. You pay like $87 a day, but you could drink top shelf and eat whatever you want. They have buffets all over the place, and you just indulge the whole week. I always gain like at least 10 pounds because I'm just nonstop. Like crab legs all day. Give me that butter. What's up?
I got laid off at Verizon. So I went to La Playa Palenque and stayed there for a month. Just lived off of my unemployment.
That's a life.
And, just eating lobster every day and playing dominoes on the beach and just chilling.
That's a dream.
You should just retired, man. Just hung out, stayed there, just never left. It's like the Hawaiian.
I swear I think about it, man. That would just be the life for me. I mean, that would be me. Just being an old bartender telling stories and stuff. That would be the life for me right now. But
right.
Again, I'm doing right now. I'm doing what I love to do, hanging out with some people I really like, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, talking about sports that we really like. Did you guys watch the Pittsburgh Ravens game?
I watched some of it. I tell you what, I was mad about that game, and I'll tell you why. The NFL is so fake in talking about protecting the shield. The Denver Broncos, you got all these quarterbacks that are out, and you forced them to play the game.
Not only that, they were all testing negative for multiple days. And yet they were told that they couldn't play because they hung out together without masks, which, don't get me wrong, I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah.
But you have all this flexibility to move all of these other games, but you can't move it one more day. You move this game 3 different times. There's just no sequency here.
It doesn't make it. There's no. And the one thing, since Roger Goodell has been the commish, he's just never been consistent. He's never been consistent about anything from discipline to anything that he does. He just does it. And this right here, I was furious because I'm like, you look at Denver and you guys are out all these quarterbacks. This is a bad product you're putting on the field. And this is something you need to clean this up. I understand these guys didn't wear masks. Fine them. Find the team.
Well, and then even today's game, they think they're going to have a couple more positive tests today, and they still played the game.
Right. That's what I was
with those players.
About. I'm like, you had 2 players test positive the day before, which means that there could be a chance that some more players could test positive today or later on this week. So why would you expose them to a team that is on a roll, undefeated? And that could just,
even just expose themselves, because we're going to find out how the Bucs are. I mean, these players could uphold their end of the bargain, but whoever's around them might catch it from someone, and then it gets into the locker room, and then everyone gets it, because it's never just 1, 2, or 3 players get it. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the coming days or weeks.
Right.
So I guess people aren't taking this seriously, and that's the problem that I have.
Cases are spiking across the country.
Right.
Just from people just being negligent.
Yeah. And like for you're in the service industry, in the restaurant industry. How do you protect yourself? You're talking about working a double. Geez. I mean, you are doubly exposed.
I worked 36 hours in 3 days. I couldn't even feel my legs after the 3rd day, but you know what? the money was worth it. But when it comes to being at work and being in like the high volume restaurant, I mean, I'm at Disney, so there's people everywhere. And ever since the mayor of our city like kind of opened everything and said that everything can be at 100% capacity, our restaurants have been packed ever since. So the way I kind of avoid, I try to be away from people as much as possible. Like if a lot of servers are grouping up in the side stations, I get the heck out of there. I'm trying to wash my hands every 20 minutes. Every time I take a plate to the back or I grab somebody's glass, I wash my hands. When I'm cutting fruit, I have put gloves on. Like, I'm trying to be as cautious as I can be, because even though I'm young and obviously COVID probably wouldn't affect me as it does other people, I still don't want to have to be at work or stuck in my house for 14 days because I think I would go crazy.
Yeah, but it's like secondhand smoking, though. Like you can do everything perfect,
right?
But if 5 people around you are not doing what they're supposed to do, it's going to mess with your life and your health.
Right.
Sorry, Gene.
No, people really aren't taking it seriously because I went to go pick up food the other day from a restaurant and the bar was completely packed and not a single person was wearing a mask.
And it's like that in so many states.
People are acting like we're not in a pandemic right now. I'm a little confused. Like, did they think it just disappeared? Like, I don't.
Again, I think we live in a society, and I'm talking worldwide, where people feel like there's nothing wrong until it affects them.
Yeah. Yep.
Not a problem until it hits them.
They don't want to be cautious to avoid things.
I would be horrible. I would feel so horrible if I ended up inadvertently killing somebody, some old person, because I was being negligent, not wearing a mask, going out, not social distancing, and all this other stuff. Right. I do take this serious, and that's just my personal opinion. I'm not going to put anything on anybody else, but that's my personal opinion. Hey, I got to make sure that I take care of me and my family. I have to make sure that, everybody around me is taken care of. I don't want to be part of the problem because, like you said, it's spiking everywhere. And what I'm scared of is Thanksgiving weekend just passed. Now we're going to have to wait and see what the spike is and what the stress is on hospitals, right? What the stress is going to be on the workers in the hospitals. And then you've got Christmas coming up and you've got people that are still going to be those people that will not let this go, and they'll just go out and do what they want to do. So, again, I hope, kind of drawing this back to football a little bit, I hope the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you guys are making a lot of money. You're doing a lot of things. Please, 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 take care of business. You've got the whole off season to do whatever it is you need to do. Right. We saw Donovan Smith had COVID in the beginning, before the season even started. I believe.
No, he didn't. He just didn't want his daughter, his newly born daughter, to get it. So, that's what the deal was.
Who had? There was a Buccaneer that did.
Cam Brate.
Cam Brate had it, and it was just one of those things where you have to realize this could affect you the rest of your life. Yeah, it can affect vital organs. Even if you get over it, it's not a cold, not the flu or anything like that. But hopefully help is on the way. I know that Pfizer and Moderna and I believe Invax all have vaccinations that are really close to being ready. So let's hope everything works out.
I'm not going to take it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not. I don't ever get my flu shot. I don't like shots.
I'm like you. I am 100% like you when it comes to the flu shot because I'm like, no, I know that. That's not something that's going to long-term affect my health. But this right here,
it's like the multivitamin. Like Harvard studies have come and shown that your body can absorb all of those nutrients at once. And they recommend, or they say you don't have to take one, but it's like a mental thing. Okay, well, I know I got it, so I don't have to worry about it. It's kind of how that aspect of flu shots go. But I'm one of those, I just get it. Just, a lot of places like Publix give you gift cards for doing it.
There's an incentive, so he's like, why not?
So, Ruth, while I've got you, I do want to kind of look down the actual NFL schedule, and I do want to get your thoughts on, on these games, on some of these games here that are coming up. And we're going to do some picks here, if that's okay with you.
This week,
I haven't gotten to do that with you since, the last time you were on. I know that you have your show, and if you aren't, guys, when you get through with this show, go and check out Beauty and the Cleats, please.
Literally right after we're done.
Right after we're done. Beauty and the Cleats. They do a great job. Please follow them. They don't get enough followers, and I don't understand why.
You know what? Me and Kaylee are going to work on that. I feel like me and her are both very busy, so we don't spend the time that we need
That's
to
the
develop
marketing.
it.
Yeah, and that's okay. Yeah, I see
But
what you're
we're coming out with t-shirts and beer koozies, so look out for that. Make sure to support and purchase one online.
They're girls. They're going to be cute, guys. So, you know.
Yeah, nice V-necks, you know.
There you
Chest
go.
hair for days.
What about
what you got for me? Because I got to jump on Beauty and the Cleats in a second.
What do we get? All right. So first game, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Miami Dolphins is the first game. Who do you got?
I got Miami. I got Fitzpatrick. If he's still starting, I'm not really sure if Tua's coming back. Is Fitzpatrick starting?
I think so. Tua's hurt.
I believe in Fitzpatrick. I feel like they shouldn't have pulled him from the beginning. I feel like it was maybe a little too soon to throw in Tua, but I have him winning. And I mean, Joe Burrow was out, so
yeah. There you go. Joe Burrow was their only hope. He was like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Hey, Penny
He
Sewell.
was doing so much, and they still weren't winning games. That's the sad part, you know.
Yeah.
Okay,
so they're competitive. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And KB, who you got?
Oh, Bengals, Dolphins. Oh, yeah, Dolphins are easy.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Vegas and the Jets.
Vegas.
All right.
Give me the Jets.
I think the Jets. I'm convinced the Jets are going to
I'm all for it. Yeah, no, I'm just all for the insanity right now.
There we go. The Colts.
Wait, you think the Jets?
Yeah, why not? Let's have some fun. Vegas, baby, Vegas.
What are you, like a Joe Flacco fan over here?
I mean, no, Sam Darnold's back, baby.
Darnold's back.
Oh, yeah, Sam Darnold.
Throwing interceptions like he never left.
Yeah. And Adam Gase is calling plays, controlling his own destiny.
Let's see what happens.
It's all game on right now. All right, the Colts and the Texans.
Ooh, that's a low key.
Yeah, because Deshaun Watson went last week, but I feel like Phillip Rivers is really pissed off from losing last week, so I think he's gonna. Who's playing at home? That even matters.
Let's see. This is
more breaking news.
Let's see who is playing at.
Why don't
Texans are at home. Texans are at home.
Yes.
I'm still gonna go with the Colts.
All right.
Give me the Texans.
And to me, probably the game of the week, and I know you guys are gonna laugh at me, the Tennessee Titans versus the Cleveland Browns. 2 8-3 teams.
That's easy Titans for me, man. I'm done with Baker.
I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Browns just because I want to be different. And
I got Cleveland in an upset special only because Myles Garrett is back off COVID. And I think that this team is probably as healthy as they've been in a long time.
Right? Nick Chubb is back.
Yeah. Both the running backs make it interesting. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, I'm just out on.
So I got the Browns.
That guy, man. We could do a whole show about that clown. But anyway. All right. Detroit, Chicago.
Suck against suck. I would go. Oh man, that's hard. I think I'm gonna. Oh man, is Mitchell Trubisky playing?
Yes, they just
I'm gonna go with the Bears because the Lions just fired Matt Patricia. They're all a hellhole.
Oh, Beauty and the Cleats is calling you out. You have a show in a few minutes. Okay,
I'm coming.
Okay, real quick, because I know you've got things to do.
I wonder if that's Evan or Kaylee.
I don't know. They are telling you got to go. Okay. As you know, we always do the hot seat. I got to get you on the hot seat. And here's the thing. You got a chance to win a free t-shirt from Smack Apparel. From Smack Apparel.
Okay, what are all the rules and regulations?
Shout out to my guy Robbie from Smack Apparel. Love that dude. And so if you can do this 10 questions under a minute, you get this. I'll make sure to get that shirt shipped out to you.
Okay, let's go.
All right. And I'm going to ask the first question, and then we'll go. All right. Byron Leftwich is a solid offensive coordinator. Buy or sell?
Buy.
Tristan Wirfs. Oh, hold on one second. Oh, wrong question. Sorry. Let me stop this. Apologize.
Restart the timer.
Look, I'm restarting the timer. Okay. All right. Byron Leftwich is a solid offensive coordinator. Buy or sell?
Buy.
Nick Chubb is the most important part of the Cleveland Browns on the team. Buy or sell?
Buy.
2020 draft class is better than the class in the past 20 years.
Sell.
The Bucs rookies, who you got? Antoine Winfield Jr. or Tristan Wirfs?
Tristan Wirfs.
Mike Evans will go over 1,000 yards receiving. Buy or sell?
He's only at like 600 something right now. Sell.
Miami Dolphins, contenders or pretenders?
Contenders.
Who is poised to get to the playoffs, the Colts or the Titans?
Titans.
Okay, who do you trust to get to the playoffs, the Bills or the Raiders?
The Raiders.
All right, you did it.
Yes.
55 seconds. 5 seconds to spare. What
So
we're going to do.
how many of those did I answer where you were like, what?
There's no wrong
Me, it was
answer.
the Byron one. I was like,
If I would ask him, I'm like, hell no.
I've been on my soapbox for him. For like
Sell
9
that
weeks,
shit.
man.
Yeah. Hey, Ruth.
All right.
Thank you so much for coming on. I know you got to go and do your show. I will, as soon as I get off here, I will come and check out your show. Guys, please.
In the comments, we have an awesome guest coming on tonight. She is a podcasting maniac, so make sure to come on because she is great football talk.
All right. And tell everybody how they can get a hold of you and tell them about the Martin Gramatica Show again.
All right. So Martin Gramatica Show is live Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 on zliving.com. It is also on Hulu, Sling, Roku, Xfinity, and a whole bunch of other cable providers. So make sure to look out for that. You can Skype into the show 9 to 11 Monday through Friday. Wednesday nights, you can find me on Beauty and the Cleats. And then right after, I'm on the Tom Gronkowski Show at 9 o'clock.
All right.
Monday nights, I'll be on Sports Arena. And yeah, so find me on Twitter, Ruth the Truth with 4 H's at the end. And I follow back.
All right.
Thanks
And
for having me.
you
I
are a
love this
friend of the
show.
show.
I freaking
You're
love this
always
show.
welcome to come on.
Yay.
All right.
Thanks for
Well, I'm
having
going
me,
to
Have a
let
good night.
you jump
Do
on
it.
your show.
Yo, you're right. Well, the next 2 weeks are booked, but after that, I'm going to have you on.
All right. I appreciate you.
All right.
All
Both
right.
of you too.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
And guys, that was Ruth the Truth. If you get a chance, check out Beauty and the Cleats.
Such a good name, man.
It really is.
You
I
could have
was
been Beauty and I could have been Cleats, man.
Yeah, it could have been. He could have been really like that. but anyway.
But I digress.
So, I want to kind of get back to the Bucs. We talked about everything from Thanksgiving. We didn't really talk about your Thanksgiving, did we?
Mine was low key. Everyone, I went to a diner and went to go see Elf. If you have never been to an Alamo Draft House, granted it's COVID, but still go. They do a lot of really cool things, man. Great movie theater. Yeah. I think they have one in Orlando.
Yeah, it's really sad how everything is just the way it's going. I mean, you want to help these smaller companies out and make sure that they are still around when COVID is all over and done with. So that's good for you to be able to do that kind of thing. My guy, Sean Castillo, I have got to try this Goon Squad burger. Sean, we've got to get Sean. We have to get Sean on here. I've been failing Sean. Sean, I will admit, on this show, when it comes to Ryan Suckup, there's a bunch of names I could drop down here. The Ryan Suckup apology tour is still rolling. And Ryan Suckup, I do apologize for not being more excited about you coming to Tampa. And, I'm glad you're here.
He means it. He really does.
I sincerely mean this. But, when you look at this team and, the things that we used to worry about kickers. We used to worry about extra points. We used to worry about field goals. And now that's not something we're worried about. We're pissed off about other things now. But I really believe that, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to turn it around. I think that this whole bye week will really help this team and get this team in a really good position. So I am expecting the best out of this, this whole thing.
Yeah. and we just got to keep rolling, man.
Yep, that's all you can do. And Sean Castillo, I am going to get you on here because we need to talk about this burger because I like to cook.
Yeah, you have to bring a sample so we can see it and just cut it in half.
Yes. This is the thing. If you come on, I don't care if you use your phone camera or what you have to have one with a picture. Or you can have taken a picture and given us the picture and we'll put it up so everybody can see it. Because I tell you what, in talking with Pat Donovan really loves this burger. This burger is like the thing. And that's a guy I need to get with him and get him back on here again. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
He's got some pretty sage advice at times. I enjoy him sometimes. But I digress. So, what are you going to do for the bye week? You got like a honeydew list, or are there any games you're going to watch? Or
here, let me look at the slate again. No, I'm just going to be like cleaning and just being around the house. I'll watch some football, but I just won't be like crazy. There's a Saints Falcons game. Like I'll have that on in the background. Sunday night? Broncos Chiefs. Yeah.
This is an interesting question, Mr. Everything Bucs.
Oh, let's hear it.
He said, "Do you fire BA and Jason if they do not make the playoffs?"
Well, if they don't make the playoffs, it's on the table because that requires an 0-4 collapse. Is the only way I see that happening. Which John Gruden did it, so I'm not going to say it's not possible.
Bro,
but
I'm driving the U-Haul up there. What was that? What's the name of that company? That moving company, Muscular Man or whatever. I'm getting all the Muscular Man. We're going to move. We're moving them out of Bucs. $1. They got to go. I just don't think that's going to happen. If you have a colossal collapse like that, they got to go.
But Gene, what's this team's MO? We beat up the mediocre to okay teams, and we struggle against the very good teams. These are not good teams.
Again, I don't see it happening. Yeah. I don't see it.
I think 2-2 is the worst case scenario.
Yeah,
you can
2-2.
See out of last 4 games.
Yeah, I really believe that Tom Brady will get things worked out. I don't see this being an issue. Again, the reason I'm talking about the playoffs is because I'm very comfortable talking about the Bucs going to the playoffs, and I think that's going to happen. Just based on the schedule, based on the fact that this team has come back and done what they need. They've had one losing streak, right? Where
the 1-3 the last 4 games, yeah,
1-3. So they've kind of broken up that a 3-game losing streak by having. So you've got only 2 games. They've got a 2-game.
It's their only back-to-back loss.
Yeah, only back-to-back losses this year is this, right? This Rams Chiefs game. So
and here's the thing: do you know who we play in 2021? The 2 divisions. NFC and AFC East. So when Trevor was on here earlier in the year talking about 2021 being the year for the Bucs, in many ways he's right. Even if we don't bring everyone back, those are 5-6 easy wins without even having to do much sweating, in my opinion.
Well, again, I kind of go back to this. I think the Bucs will split with the Atlanta Falcons because they're a division rival.
Raheem and Dirk are playing for something, even though Dirk, I think, is what holds the Falcons back because I still think they can compete.
Yeah.
He's running 3rd and 10 wide receiver screens in the red zone.
Yeah.
And then they kick field goals.
Yeah. That's their they make no adjustments. They didn't have to make an adjustment against the Raiders, of course. But the one thing that frustrates me more than anything, and again, I'm not a GM, I'm not a head coach, it's just what I'm seeing is it doesn't look like any adjustments. Everything, the cadence, when you go 3 and out and you continuously go 3 and out, there have been times where there have been turnovers and the defense gives you good starting field position and you can't capitalize on good starting field position. That's a problem. That is a huge problem. And I don't care if they win the game. It's the fact that the defense has gone out and done their job. But the defense will get blamed. If there's a loss, somebody somewhere will blame the defense at some point in time. But when I'm looking at some of these games, especially the Rams game, I was furious. The fact that the defense is giving you this. And I know I've seen things I've seen quotes in the chat about how the cornerbacks need to do this and this and this. But then there have been times where the defense has gone out and handed them the ball on a short field.
Kicking field goals.
Yep.
At their own 35.
Yep.
No, and then the defense is.
You got these big monsters out there, or you're running the ball up the middle twice instead of looking at your big man to try to give you that 7 points. It shouldn't be 3. It should never be 3. When you are inside the red zone, it shouldn't be 3. It should be 7. And it just frustrates me to no end that that's kind of what we've been seeing. That's been the MO lately.
Yeah, and as bad as the defense has played, they've in both the Rams and Chiefs game, they gave the offense a chance. But when you're in the red zone and you give the first 2 carries of your red zone drive to Leonard Fournette for a net gain of 2 yards, not much you really can do. So, I mean, this offense is living and dying by third down. They're the Warriors. They're basically just living by the 3-ball.
The three-pointer. You got
That's what I mean. Yeah, like that's what we are. Is we're playing this high flying down the field offense. Tom Brady's still the top 3 in yards per reception and
air yards
downfield. Like he's still up there and everything. And you showed me the screenshot that's gone around on Twitter where basically it's Brady against Jameis against Andrew Luck against Ben Roethlisberger against Carson Palmer and all their fourth years. Brady by far has the best year out of any of them.
I mean,
it was baby Ben who had a low amount of interceptions, but the rest of them blew interceptions out of the water, and Brady blew everyone out really in yards and touchdowns except for Jameis.
When you look at Bathroom Ben back then, I think he had a hell of a running game.
And a defense. He had Jerome Bettis when he first was starting.
The bus, I mean, all he had to do was get on the bus and go round and round.
The dude got over 1,000 yards, averaging 2.8 yards a carry.
So let me ask you this then. And that's just crazy when you think, and it's just mind-boggling when you think about this. And William Rankins, I'm putting this up here. It's in the trenches. This is what the playoffs is going to be, won or lost in the trenches. End of story. I don't care what you dream up, what you have. These games are won and lost. The last 2 seasons, those games have been won and lost in the trenches. When you get to the Super Bowl, the teams getting to the Super Bowl have been able to do that. And that's what it comes down to, is winning in the trenches. Now, back to what I was going to ask you about. When you look at Bruce Arians' MO with all these quarterbacks, Hall of Fame quarterbacks, why is it acceptable to have a large number of interceptions? Why not? Are they tweaking the offense in any way to limit some of those, or why is it okay to do that? I guess I don't understand, because when people present this to me, and I've had this presented, I don't know how many times, this quarterback did this quarterback did this quarterback did this, but they had a high number of interceptions. Can you tweak the offense to where you're limiting some of these turnovers?
Honestly, this season is the most that I've seen Bruce Arians do it. I've seen some clips from the Steelers. I tried to find some things from back in the day. Went through some of those. The Cardinals. This is
Palmer. Jesus Christ, Palmer.
This is the most low key offense Bruce Arians has produced, and he's done a lot towards changing things to Brady to make things short. But what makes this offense so complicated is a lot of the routes for receivers are option routes. So both the quarterback and receiver have to know what they're supposed to do. The best way for me to explain it is that Mike Evans interception last week. We all know Brady was seeing, Tony Romo was saying this perfectly. Brady was blitzed. He knew that he was hot. Mike Evans was supposed to know to basically break off his route early because Brady's hot. Like, this is just communication that's just supposed to happen non-verbally. They're just supposed to know. And the Bucs just aren't doing it. Like, we've seen out routes get rounded or 2 yards further.
But that goes back to last year. I mean, I can point out at least 20 plays last year where wide receivers were rounding off their routes. And Michael Clayton, shout out to Michael Clayton. Michael Clayton pointed this out to me. Look at how they're running their routes. They're not running crisp routes. They're running routes.
Antonio Brown is. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Oh, Antonio Brown is
Shit.
filthy with this route running. Filthy.
He's better than Godwin, and I thought Godwin was a great route runner.
And this goes all the way back to Deshaun Jackson being here. Deshaun Jackson would pull up on routes. The guy would not sell. If he's not getting the ball, he wasn't selling it on his side of the ball that he's, he could possibly be that guy. He wasn't selling anything. He would just like jog down or whatever. And there have been times where I saw him full out stop. That he could have ran under a ball. He chose not to. So, there's that. But just the wide receiver core as a whole have really never been, I wouldn't say they haven't been taught, but there are ways to run these routes in the NFL. And I think Antonio Brown is a good example of how you run routes. I remember Mike Evans. Remember, that was the knock on Mike Evans coming out of college, that he was a horrible route runner. He's got
basically it was DK Metcalf without the speed is essentially what Mike Evans was viewed as.
Yes.
I wanted Aaron Donald that draft. I knew he was undersized, but he was like the first guy when I watched like all the all-star games where I was like, holy shit. That was like the first time I actually like sat down and watched the East-West Shrine, or not East-West Shrine game, the Senior Bowl and like all this stuff. And they actually showed the O-line, D-line one-on-ones, which you never got to see as a fan.
Yeah.
Like, and you just see this guy. But like Mike Evans obviously has had a great career. Right. I'm happy he's a Buc. He's a great personality. Right. But yeah, he has weaknesses. Like we're learning that. We have players with great strengths. We have players with great weaknesses too.
And what's interesting to me is when I look at Tom Brady, and I know this is a high number of interceptions for him. He normally does a great job taking care of the ball. I think what you lost with Jameis Winston was accuracy and ability to read defenses. And that was where his weaknesses, whereas with Tom Brady's athleticism, where he can't make plays with his legs.
And see, this is something I wanted to talk to you about. So when I was thinking about basically, and I went back and watched some film from last year, when you think of this offense with these two quarterbacks, it's actually so different. It's fantastic. So when Jameis was running in the system, when he was staying in the pocket, not rolling, because Jameis's best plays last year and why he racked up 5,000 yards is all this stuff that he did outside of the pocket. Brady has to stay in there and he basically has to play the offense by the rules. Mm-hmm. Whereas Jameis could break off those rules. And that's why he probably
could go rogue at any time.
And that's why he probably had the success that he did. And I mean, I've always made the jokes that maybe it was his LASIK that he couldn't read a defense or a safety that's 20 yards downfield or whatever. But it's really, I think that was just his strength is, playing that, I mean, lack for the better term, street ball, where you're able to roll outside the pocket. Godwin, Evans, whoever it was, just knew when to break off the routes to go towards Jameis to help him out.
But what gets me about Jameis Winston is you get that guy a marker on a whiteboard. He could break this shit down. He would break it down and explain it to you and just break it down. This is what's going on. This is what I'm seeing. But real time, he's under, live bullets. It's a different story. And I can't.
It's like I was a teacher before I got into sales and all this. It's the same
you play
thing.
An offensive line. I would like to get your perspective on what I was just talking about.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, first I'll start off just like my little analogy that was going on. It's like a kid who he's a straight A student. He or she's a great student, pays attention, is great. You can tell they understand all the material. They pass all your pop quizzes, and then you hand them a standardized test and they freeze. Jameis is kind of like that with me. You can look at the whiteboard and understand what's going on, but it's like what Mike Tyson said. Until you get punched in the mouth, like it's just shit on a chalkboard. Like that's all it is until you actually have to execute it. Because like we learned with Brady on that, and Arians threw him under the bus, and Brady accepted being thrown under the bus when he thought it was too high safeties on that last throw to Cameron Brate against the Rams, and he still threw it. He said, "I read it wrong," and that's just being in the line of fire, man.
Yeah, 100%. William Rankins, he said the problem is Jameis' problem is that he didn't have a running game to offset them picks.
I think that has to do with offensive coordinator more than it does.
That has to do a lot with play calling.
Yeah, because when Lovey was here, Doug Martin had his best year.
Yep.
They had a balanced
number 2 in the
offense.
league. Number 2 in the league.
Yep, he was. Yep, and they had a balanced offense. Charles Sims was amazing. Lovey leaves, and Dirk Cutter has his chains removed, and we got to see the real Dirk Cutter. And that's essentially what happened. You could tell. I mean, Lovey has his faults,
Right.
but Lovey was the best quarterback or best head coach for Jameis.
Yeah, and I can't argue that. But again, when we look at where we are right now. I think Tom Brady will adjust. Despite what happens this year, I only see market improvement for next year.
Yeah, let's say we make the playoffs and lose first round. You don't think Tom Brady is going to live at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers facility, learn this playbook inside out? Hey, Mike Evans, you want to come to my gorgeous backyard and run some routes with me? Or you want to go to this park? Like, they're going to do it. Like,
it's going to happen.
I mean, it is what it is. Like, we just got to hope that they figure it out in the next 4 weeks.
Again, and I don't have a problem with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm behind that. I'm 100% behind that. So, we can spin this. I know we're talking football right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're doing. You know what? I don't care what time we finish. I don't know about you, but let me see if we can get some phone calls in here.
Yeah. That's fine.
We have not done that yet.
I got 20 minutes, my man.
All right. But guys, I've been neglecting you guys, and I apologize for that. So give me a second here, and I am going to get the phone lines up and running. And, because I do want to hear from you guys. I really do. That's what this show is about, is, being able to call in. 813-358-8154. I would love to hear from you guys. I really would, So here's your chance to get on, talk live with me. And whether you agree with me, you may disagree with me, you may not like what I have to say, but I do want to hear from you guys. So you're always, you are welcome to call in. Once again, you will be able to call into the Buc What You Heard show, 813-358-8154. I'll take a few calls before we jump off. We don't get anybody. Well, we'll work on that. We'll see what we can do. So, just kind of getting back to it, we're talking philosophy. I know me and you, we normally tweet back and forth during the game. I try to keep all the hot takes to myself, and
I can't. Sometimes it's like when someone drinks, like they lose that filter. I don't have a filter. My thumbs just tweet by themselves without me thinking, and sometimes it gets me in trouble, but I mean,
and just like again, I said I wasn't going to talk about Jameis Winston, but here we are. We're at the end of the season. All bets are off right now. The Bucs are looking like they could potentially go to the playoffs here, and that's where I'm at. I'm excited about that. We haven't been able to be this exciting. I mean, you tell me, in the last decade, have you been able to be this excited about this team? Maybe 2016.
It was the Hard Knock season is the last time that I was actually genuine. Because we had come off the 10-6, not making the play, or 9-7, whatever it was, and not making the playoffs. We're on Hard Knocks. Like Deshaun Jackson came in, like Mr. Hump Every Tree came in.
Yeah, fat ass Swaggy Baker came in. Yeah, I know. Wait a minute, I can't say that. I don't want to get canceled. Sorry, guys. I'm not trying to get canceled. But again, 813-358-8154. Don't be scared. Give us a call. Come on, get online with us here. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you don't have to show your face like we're just share your voice.
Here we go.
Uh-oh. Who would it be?
Let's see who we got here. Oh, I just missed a call. Did I miss a call from? All right. Can you hear me? Hold on one second here. Okay, you are live on Buc What You Heard. Who am I talking with?
Mr. Bucs Everything.
Mr. Bucs Everything. What's happening? We can hear you. God bless you, my friend. God bless you. All right, man.
Same to you guys.
You've been really killing it in here in the chat, man. I want to I'm going to give you the floor, man, to kind of talk about this team. The team is in a position to go to the playoffs, but you as a listener, and I appreciate you, by the way. I want to get your thoughts. Let's hear from you.
my thoughts, I'm really thinking on the backside of everything. I'm gonna go back to the Saints loss.
Right.
First of all, I think that was the mental breakdown on those boys.
100%.
The way they lost that second game, because they went into that second game thinking, "Look, we lost this first game by this little bit. Now we go into the second game, we should dominate these boys." After the first couple of drives, where
that first punch in the mouth,
they lost it. The first 3 scores, they lost it after that, and they had no answer for that for the rest of the game. And the coaches didn't instill no confidence back in them at all, from BA, Leftwich, even Tarbo. There was nothing that none of them could say.
And real quick, I'm glad you brought up that Saints game, and I do want to get your opinion. I believe that the New Orleans Saints, and maybe I'm wrong here. I'm a fan. I love this team. I don't want to see this team lose. This is a one-sided rivalry, and this goes all the way back to when the Bucs. I mean, I can go back to Aaron Brooks, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have never gotten up for the New Orleans Saints to whoop that ass. They've gotten up to play with them and try to compete. They've won a few games. They won more games with Jameis Winston as the quarterback than they ever have in just being in the NFC South,
which is like 2.
Yeah, one exactly. And the Saints have given the Bucs theoretically for the last decade the worst beatdown at some point in the season than any other team that they've faced. The New Orleans Saints.
Well, let's think about it. What always been our biggest weakness with that team? What are the Saints? They are pass first team. What is our biggest weakness?
Secondary.
The secondary. That answers
which I thought was a strength this year, but
we have
changed quick. Sorry.
But I'm gonna go back and say what I said early in the season. We went out and got Antonio Brown.
Right.
They said, nope, we wasn't going to get Antonio Brown. He's too much of a head case, and he's the team disruptor. Hasn't done anything so far. Stayed within his boundaries. Why not have brought in Earl Thomas? Would have been like another middle linebacker in your secondary to help this young secondary to calm down, especially games like this with the Saints, with the Rams, and then now this game here where we just lost with the Chiefs. Now, granted, with the Chiefs game, if we didn't get those penalties, and we could have went down there and scored those 2 interceptions, we would have been up. I believe that was still a winnable game. We took the Chiefs' best shot in that first quarter. They settled down, but we should have kept running the ball. Running the ball, wear their defense out. They would have forced them to put 3 over the top instead of 2 over the top. So when they would have put their 3 over the top, then you start going with your trickery plays. Then you start going grinding them down with Rob Gronkowski. But no, they abandoned the run late. I'm going to say probably about third quarter. They just stopped running the ball altogether. But I'm going to go back to the Saints game for a second. After that Saints game, when they showed that video with the YouTube, when they was partying like they just won the Super Bowl,
sorry,
I said to myself, I would have had showed that video every day at practice, before a meeting, after a meeting.
I would have been texting it. I would have been texting that to people.
Hey, Mr. W was a captain.
Yeah. And
this is what teams, you are a joke to teams now. This should make y'all go out there and want to play and bust these jokers in the mouth harder than what you ever had done years prior to. That should have been your motivation for the rest of the season.
No doubt, man.
Now
And Cam Jordan should have went out on a stretch for the way he was talking trash. Seriously.
He's not even the best D lineman on that team anymore.
If I even see another video with Cam Jordan boasting, talk about, look how good we look how we do this, and look how we do it. I need somebody to bust Cam Jordan in the mouth.
Yeah.
One game to shut him up.
Shut him up. And they're not doing
we got
it.
Wirfs, baby. Wirfs will shut his ass up. He has twice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But they switched him off of them and moved him to who?
Oh, yeah. And that's when he got his sack. But yeah,
he gave him a turkey dinner to eat all that game.
Trey Hendrickson basically
aggressive,
has like
collard
9
green.
sacks this year. 4 of them are just against Donovan Smith. It's
Listen.
like Adrian Claiborne in that Cowboy game a couple years ago, twice in a row.
I'm going to say this. The Buccaneers need to address that in the offseason, whether it's in the draft. I would say
I think there's some good tackles that might fall because of so many wide receivers and stuff that are going to be available.
I'm thinking, and I'm looking at the Big Ten. The Big Ten has a lot of good offensive linemen that are.
And who loves him some Big Ten? Mr. Nebraska himself, Jason Light.
There you go. So that this needs to happen.
This is another quarterback draft also this year here too. So
yeah, but I think there might be a guy who slips to the second. Like maybe we get our next, that kid from the 1AA school, Trey Lance or whoever, like might just fall. Or the kid from Florida.
Yeah, Trey Lance won't be around for number 2.
Okay, well, like there's like I was talking about Trask and the Alabama kid. I think
Trask is your next Joe Burrow. If play it right, Trask might fall to 3rd round if everything plays right. But if he falls to the 3rd round, will they pull the trigger to get it?
Yeah.
I just don't think
after Brady.
Yeah, that's what we need to be kind of looking at. You just kind of have to be looking over your shoulder and saying, okay, what are we going to do next? And you're spot on that. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it is who's going to come in and replace Brady?
I want a replacement, but do you think that Jason Light will actually get one? Because he might anticipate Brady want to come back for a year 45 or whatever is when he turns 45, an extra 3rd year or something.
Nobody's going to touch Brady. If we win this Super Bowl this year here, or we win it next year, nobody's going to touch Brady at 45. Brady will be
except us. That's what I'm saying. Except us.
He's going to be he's going to have to accept. I'm 45. I should go ahead and take a backup quarterback role and become a quarterback coach, or start trying to get into transition and either go into an offensive coordinator.
I don't think he's going to coach, dude. His wife makes way more than he does, and he's already like he talked about what's that interviewer's name who's very famous? Oh my god, like the best interviewer. Brady was on like a 3-hour interview with him earlier in the offseason. But basically opened up about his marriage, and Giselle was like mad at him, and like they were in some like marital issues, like they went to counseling and stuff, and it was because everything was all about him. Yeah.
Wow.
So like he understands that once his career's over, he's gonna be the full-time mommy and dad. I mean, they're gonna have help obviously, but he's gonna be a full-time mom and dad, and he's gonna do the TB12, marketing and get all that stuff out there. But
I'm thinking about trying the TB12 diet.
What's his face? JC Cornell was doing it.
Yeah. Actually, Mr. Bucs Nation is doing it.
Oh, cool.
And folks, if you just joined if you just joined us, I am joined by Mr. Everything's Bucs. He's sitting here chopping it up with us for a little bit, talking a little Bucs football. I want to ask you, what do you think about the playoffs? And you kind of have not really talked about it much, but how do you feel about this Buccaneers team?
The playoffs are kind of scary because one thing you always got to look at the playoffs is about matchups. It's about who you really want to, where you really want to play, who you really want to play in that first round. It would have been best for us to get that first round bye, but we know first off we're not going to get that bye now. No. So now we got to look at who can you match up good with. You can possibly match up good with Seattle. Because of their defense, it's not as good as their offense.
Yeah.
We know we can match up good with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
But what would it be as a icing on the cake if we match up and get the Saints again and play them for the 3rd time and send their butts home?
I want them second round. I don't want to see them first round.
That would mean 2020 is ending on a positive note. Because I'm telling you what, the Saints Nation, I got a lot of friends that are Saints fans. I can't help their choices in football team. Can't help that. They're good people. but they have been roasting my ass
I
all
told
week.
fans, I said, y'all better ride this high as long as y'all can, because Breeze is done.
Yeah. Well, let me say this, and let me put this out here, and I think this is the perfect time. I'm glad you brought up the New Orleans Saints again, because I need to say this. Everybody's talking about how good the New Orleans Saints are and how good they've been for all these years. How many Super Bowls have the New Orleans Saints brought home in this span of time that they've been this good?
One.
Exactly. Now, you talk about all these players they've had, all these records they broke, all these done this. They beat the Bucs. They swept the Bucs. They won the NFC South. How many Super Bowls have they done since this span, in that span of time?
They haven't done. But if you really look at the Saints play versus us the last 2 years, Alvin Kamara has not ran 100 yards on the last 2 years.
No.
The only way the Saints beat us is by trickery. We're the only team.
And Slant Boy is running his mouth. Has been running his mouth all damn year. And what
Carlton Davis can guard him now.
Hey, I mean,
that's all I've heard about is Slant Boy. Oh, crybaby ass. Let's call Taysom Hill what he is. He's an upgraded version of Tebow, what Tebow was supposed to be when he first came in the league. He Tebow.
I'd rather have Tebow.
Tebow with 50% accuracy, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes, but still, Taysom Hill behind the center will not beat us in the playoffs. And I told Saints fans that my job at work all the time. Y'all just got a lucky break that y'all didn't play us before the 49ers.
Yep.
But if y'all would have played us after the 49ers, playing us with Taysom Hill, y'all done.
And everything that I've said, has come to pass. I said that basically Taysom Hill, if you get him under center, you're taking him away as an offensive weapon. When you would bring him on the field and you would line him up at wide receiver, you line him up at tight end, line him up at quarterback, line him up at running back, you don't know what you're going to get. You can line him up in the Wildcat and, he's a wide receiver. You don't know what you're going to get. Now you're taking all that away.
The most dangerous aspect of that whole thing. See, Sean Payton knows what James can do. He don't want.
Does he though?
I think he do.
He don't want teams to catch on to what James can do right now. Because I believe he may be saving James for the playoffs. And say, you know what? It doesn't even matter whether if Taysom Hill gets hurt or not right now. Let him take them lumps into the playoffs. James, you will take over. If Taysom Hill has a bad first or second quarter, you will see James come in before the first half is over with and take over the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And try to win with him.
Now think about this, and KB, I want you to think about this, man. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were winless against the New Orleans Saints for 6 years in a row? They got swept.
Mm-hmm.
Swept 6 years in a row. And then 2015, who comes in and they start splitting? They start splitting with the New Orleans Saints. They weren't winning every game.
Sorry. I just keep thinking of Chris Godwin's catch. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. That walk-off touchdown that he got that year that just elevated him to legendary status with the Tampa Bay Bucs. That's what he did. But Jameis Winston, you didn't want to face Jameis. You could call crab legs or all this other stuff, but I'm telling you what, the Saints didn't want to mess with him. They didn't want no parts of that man because they knew that it wasn't a guaranteed win every time they played the Bucs when Jameis Winston was under center, regardless of how inaccurate he was.
I tell you what, BA won't admit it right now, but I bet he missing Jameis right about now. Just for the simple fact that Jameis ran his system better, even though Jameis had more interceptions than Tom Brady, but he ran his system better than Tom Brady. He put the ball right there on the receiver's hands better than Tom Brady did have this year here.
Can you tell me one pass Jameis threw downfield that looks anything like Tom Brady's to Scotty Miller at the end of the Raiders first half?
That was filthy. That was like a touch. Now, see, and Mr. Bucks, everything. Let me say this. I love Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston has them balls that he can get those deep balls sometimes. But Tom Brady, what I seen from Tom Brady is touch on the ball. I saw that with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick, when they beat the Saints that first game when Fitzmagic was invented here in Tampa, by the way, Fitzmagic was getting that ball. He had touch on the ball. That ball, he was just dropping dimes.
It looked ugly though, but it had touch.
Yeah.
I
think he threw it was a 9 route. It was a 9 route that Deshaun Jackson ran, and he caught him in stride.
3 times in a row, twice against the Saints, once against the Eagles.
Yep. Smoked him like a Cohiba. And that was just what it was, and that's what we saw. And I think that's where Jameis, and I'm going to say this, and I know that he's no longer quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but we have to talk about him because he's in our division. I think he's one of those guys that can continue to evolve, and he could be a better quarterback.
I think he's a perfect West Coast guy. That's why when John Gruden was said to possibly be the Bucs head coach after Cutter, I thought maybe it would be good for Jameis. And I think if I were Jameis, I don't want to play a snap for the Saints this year, only because you just want to keep that unknown. And I think he needs to go to a better offense that best suits his skill set, which is not the short dump off to Kamara offense, personally.
Yeah, 100%.
He can be great. I think if he goes to Pittsburgh and replaces Ben Roethlisberger, I think even if he goes to Denver, I think he could be solid. Like, I think he could take Denver to the playoffs in that division. I'm a big Jameis critic.
I thought he was going to the Steelers, personally.
Yeah, it would have been a great fit.
When him and Cam was the last 2 quarterbacks on the market, I said, what would be good for Jameis is a coach like Tomlin to put him behind somebody like Big Ben, because him and Big Ben almost mirrored each other. Exact same styles in everything.
Yeah,
completely. And then you look at the type of offensive line the Steelers have would have fit him perfectly. And two things Jameis never had a consistent thing of: a steady, good defense and a steady running game. But when that one year Jameis had a 1,000-yard rusher, he went 10-6 and made the playoffs that year, I believe. Was it that year?
No, because that was his rookie year. His rookie year, Doug Martin was number 2 in rushing in the league. And then they had running back by committee because Doug Martin was 100% healthy. And in 2016, I think that was the year they had 9 wins. And then after that, they kind of underachieved. 2017, 2018, they underachieved with Fat Ass Baker and Deshaun Jackson. And then, 2019, everything all kind of changed up.
But you go back and you think of 2 years before that, Jameis had games to where he could have already had the game won, and what happened? Teams will come down, put the ball over the top with the safety, touchdown. Now the game back in Jameis' hands to win the game. So when he sit there and try to force the ball downfield or force a win, he's the bad guy there.
Yeah, but you have to consider. I mean, if you've been paying attention, you got to go all the way. You can go all the way back to 2012. The defensive always has been a liability. I don't care if it was Josh Freeman or Glennon or whoever it was. They could give you a lead in the fourth quarter and walk off the field, but the defense couldn't hold the lead. That was just they were a liability. Hey, real quick, I did want to say, Mr. Bucs, everything. Thank you for calling in. Got some other people that are trying to call in here. Let me get your final thoughts before I roll out of here.
I want to say we're going 3-1 and make it to the playoffs.
There you go. And that loss is against?
I believe that loss may be against the Falcons.
There you go. There we're all in this. We're all in accord. There we go.
I believe that first game didn't make it, but that second game at the end of the season,
that's the one. That's the one that scares me right there. That's a trap game right there. True story.
We had the same similar game last year with the Falcons.
Yep.
We won the first game, but we lost the second game.
Yep. There you go. All right. Well, thank you so much, my friend, for calling in. Call in next week. We will be here doing the same thing. And again, as you see, it's not painful to call in. You can call in and talk as long as you need to, my friend.
Oh, no doubt.
All right.
I appreciate you guys.
Hey, thank you so much for checking us out. I appreciate you. All right. That number again, 813-358-8154. Raphael E. Okay, hit me up, man. I'm waiting on you. Waiting on you to call in. I'm sure T. Smitty gonna call in too. You know,
yeah, here, man. I gotta hop off. You want to stay on with all the fans?
Yep, I'm gonna stay on here and I'm gonna take some calls and
have a great night, everyone.
All right, man. Hey, thank you,
Peace
KB. Out. All right, that was my guy KB. Call. He's done for the night. I'm gonna stay on here for a little bit more and chop it up. Again, I would love to hear from you guys. 813-358-8154. Ramona. Let's see, Ramona K. How you doing, Ramona K? Miami has Howard with 7 picks, most in the NFL. You know what? I did not expect, real talk, I did not expect Miami secondary to be as good as they are, but they're balling out of control right now. And, I know a lot of people talk about Sean Payton as coach of the year, but when you look at the Miami Dolphins and what was predicted for them and where they are, I'm shocked. I am impressed with what Miami's done on offense and defense. And that ass whooping they put on the Rams, that wasn't no joke. So yeah, I love what I'm seeing from the Miami Dolphins, and let's hope they keep doing what they do. All right, you are live on Buc What You Heard. Who am I talking with? T. Smitty?
Roll down time. What's going on, fellas? How you guys doing?
I'm good, man. It's just me and you right now, man. It's just me and you.
Hey, I know. Hey, I'm doing better than Nate Robinson right now.
Yo, I had to tweet that out. I was like, hey, somebody wake Nick Robinson up and let him know it's time for church because boy, he needs it right now.
I was like, stay down, Nate. Stay down.
Bro, that wasn't right. That wasn't right. And now he got other people. He got Antonio Tarver, Florida about to stand up now. They got Antonio Tarver said, I want to see what he can do with me.
I ain't seen a whooping that fast since Freezer whooped Vegeta. That's all I got to say.
Oh my God.
that was a rough one.
Oh my God, man. That was bad. That was bad, man. And somebody like, is he dead? Is he dead? I was like, no, he ain't dead, man. He's all right. And he got up. He did his thing. Again, I don't know who's in his camp, but everybody in his camp need their ass whooped for letting that happen.
That is true.
No, true story, man. That just like, you see some of these actresses or social media people walking around looking crazy, and you look at the people in their camp that just gassing them up, letting them think they look good or whatever. That's what happened. Mm-hmm. But again,
yep.
So I want to get your thoughts on the Bucs, man. And we are talking playoffs. We are talking playoffs. I understand.
For real?
I'm talking playoffs because those are my expectations.
Well, my expectations was when they brought all these people in was Super Bowl or bust. And you remember I said at the beginning of the season though they'd be a 9-7, 10-16.
Right.
And I was one of the few people. And I was one of the few people that said, I believe this defense was living off of 6-game stretch against bad quarterbacks and bad offense at the end of the year. And I was tell people when Will Fuller was out of the Houston lineup, DeAndre Hopkins sucked for some reason. I don't know what happened. I don't know the mojo or whatever. But and then they go
play calling. That was play calling though with what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they just put the Falcons because I was like, they're making and like. I was like, I listened to the offseason, and I was like, look, I didn't mind them moving on from Winston, right? I was like, hey, sometimes you gotta move on, get a fresh scenery. My issue was BA, everything in the media, the Tampa media, who you know, I don't know, but for NFL team, that local media sucks. So sorry, I hate to say it, but for the most part,
and I don't know if you know my story, but back, was it 2013? I think it was 2013. I called into 97, the Fan, and it was the game the Bucs played the Washington Redskins, and I said the Bucs are going to win this game. The Bucs are going to beat the Washington Redskins, and so I'm explaining to this dude, you know, okay, this is what the Bucs are going to do. This is what they did last week. This is going to carry over to this week. This is the matchups that I see, and I was 100% right. And this dude hung up on me. He laughed at me and hung up on me. So I'm like, you know what, man, this isn't right. Fans shouldn't have to deal with this. Fans should be able to call in. If you don't agree with me, that's what I try to get across to people. If you don't agree with me, you don't like what I'm saying, okay, cool. I'm good with that. You don't like what I'm saying, cool. But at the end of the day, I want you to get your voice heard. And that's what's important to me, is that people get a chance to talk about it. Like everybody in the chat. Yep. Ramona K is in the chat right now. She's a Miami Dolphins fan, and you know, she's giving her opinion. That's good. I'm good with that. And you know what? That's cool. I agree with some of the things she says. Some of the things I may not agree with. But at the end of the day, her voice should get heard. You know, like she's saying right here, the Bucs secondary made Jared Goff look like Peyton Manning, and then the next week Goff looked like his old self with 2 interceptions in a game. Ramona, that game was a division rivalry, and I think that the game against the Rams was poorly called on the offensive side of the ball. I believe that basically you had a offensive coordinator that didn't take advantage of turnovers and short fields to score to put this team up. They didn't do what they needed to do, and that could be play calling. That could be execution. There's a lot of different things that, you know, I could go into detail on that, but my goal right now, and she's saying, Ramona K is saying, Bruce Arians has been calling out his players during every media interview instead of taking the blame as a coach should do, as a whole team, not pointing fingers. But, you know, that's just been Bruce Arians. It is what it is. But anyway.
Yep. And one thing I was getting at is, Bruce Arians pretty much is saying, hey, everything's turnovers, everything. Which they played a factor, right? But at the same time, I also said it's a mistake rolling into a season where everybody got tape on your secondary where none of your starters are old enough to rent a car. You know, and because I hate the Saints, but they don't. Marshawn Lattimore, for example, still a relatively young guy. Who's next to him? Jack Rabbit. Who they got in the safety position? Malcolm Jenkins. I always keep saying Roman Harper. Both of them like Old Man River, but both of them like old man. You know, but they don't stick a bunch of young guys. Hey, figure it out. And these teams got tape on you. And that was a concern of mine, and no depth on the defensive line. Every time I hear them bringing some offensive guy in, I'm like, what about the defensive line? What about a veteran secondary? People don't realize.
But you got to consider that's been the MO of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going all the way back to the Super Bowl. You can go back to the Super Bowl. I mean, when you look at the quality of players they brought into the defensive line. It's been atrocious. I mean, go back to 2003, look at draft picks and free agents. Start 2003, make your way all the way to now. And I would say the last 5 years, maybe 4 years, is where you're starting to get some quality defensive linemen, whether it's through free agency or through the draft. They just have not had a real direction in making this happen. Nestor, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for checking us out. We'll be back on next week. But just back to what I was saying. I mean, that's just been the MO of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. And I would say the last 2-3 years is when they really been kind of doing what they need to do. Again, like to your point, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the coaching needs to clean up a little bit. Rojo, I know Rojo has had problems with catching the ball, but at the same time, but at the same time, you let that guy get loose, man. Speed and space. And what I've been saying all year, I said that at the beginning of the year, Rojo, speed and space. Can't nobody mess with this dude. But when yes, sir.
I ask you one question.
The floor is yours.
Did the Tennessee Titans pay Derrick Henry for catching the ball or damn near running them to the Super Bowl?
He paid him to run. They paid him to run the ball. That's all they did.
Running back position is run the ball.
That's all.
You just don't want to be. You don't want to be Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garver, former wrestler for the old heads. You don't want to be that guy. All right, wait, way back. But hey, if he's not a great receiver, so the hell what? How about he told the Rock 20 times and we worry about that later? Yep. You don't. I hate that. And then I hate these media people. The excuses are getting on my damn nerves. Because I'm like, did y'all just start watching Buc games this year? The same issues were last year. And if Brady wants to run the Brady offense, stay your ass in New England. That's all I have to say about that.
That's what and think about this. When you give him the ball 20 times, he's getting the 20 touches. He's doing his thing. That's like Leonard Fournette. This is what I expected from Leonard Fournette when they brought him in. Was that, hey, you could swap him out. The one thing that annoys the shit out of me about Leonard Fournette is he tippy toes up to that hole.
Mm-hmm.
Ronald Jones is decisive. He hits the hole. Leonard Fournette reminds me of LeGarrette Blount. I talked about this at the beginning of the show. Just the way he tippy toes up to the line and decides what he's going to do. He dances a little bit, but he decides what he's going to do. That works for him. But I'm not making excuses for Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette was that guy in Jacksonville where they just gave him the ball. He was the offense. He handled the load. But now he's sporadically getting touches on the ball, and I think that plays a big part in why he's not consistent with what he does.
Mm-hmm. You know what I think? I think they made a mistake bringing him in. No knock on Leonard.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tie this in. You cannot be bringing a bunch of number ones on your team.
Mm-mm. No.
This is what they should have brought in a guy who was happy being the second string guy.
I would have kept Dari.
Who was just yes, that's what I would say would have had his role. And that's why when I was watching the Chiefs game last week, I was like, hey, Bucs fans are gonna kill me on this. If I had to pick weapons, core for core, I would have picked the Chiefs for one reason. You got everybody who's not, you got one number one receiver, you got one number one tight end. Nobody else is a number one. So you don't have to worry about, I got to make sure Nicole Hartman gets his touches. I got to make sure Sammy Watkins get his the week he doesn't pull his hamstring, or go to the tent, And I think that's something right there that people got to bring in. Well, we're going to bring in AB. I'm not even blaming AB. I hate when the media try to blame everything because AB showed up.
No, it's not that.
The issues were there. They just played crap team who couldn't do anything about it. And that's why I kind of call Tampa the Oklahoma Sooners of the NFL right now. They will.
Are you serious?
They will. I tell you why. And until I'm proven wrong here, and I want to be wrong, they'll beat up on Texas Tech, Baylor, who can't get a pass rush, can't affect them. But once they run up on Oklahoma, Alabama, LSU, could beat them up physically. That's where their Achilles heel. The Bucs are going to have to beat up teams, match them physically, because and that's the concern. Because I tell you this, everybody keeps saying, "Oh, that's just the fifth seed for the NFC East team." You know the one NFC East team I don't want them to play? The Washington football team.
Yeah, hell no. Well, look at this, and look at this, and I'm gonna have to let you go here, and just because I do want to get somebody else on here. So the Buccaneers, if we're looking at the number 1 to 10 seed, the Buccaneers have played the New Orleans Saints and lost both times. That's 2. The Green Bay Packers, they've won once. The Giants, they won. Job. The Giants, they won. And listen, that right there can easily change because of how bad the NFC East is. That could easily change. So that number 4 seed could change at any time. The Rams, they lost to the Rams. They lost to the Chicago Bears at the number 9 seed. Now, think about this. You've got the Arizona Cardinals. You've got the San Francisco 49ers at your number 7 and number 10 seed. And they're getting ready to play the Minnesota Vikings. There's a lot. They have faced a lot of the teams that are in the top 10 right now as we speak. So let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. And like you, I'm just fearful of that Washington Generals team that they may have to face because those guys, they don't have anything to lose. They're going out there to ball out, and they're going out there to do what they need to do. That's just how bad.
And a line.
Say what?
And they got a ferocious defensive line that they spent years.
Oh yeah, and Chase is healthy.
Capital picking up, and a lot of those young guys that got waived.
And Chase is healthy.
Yep, and that's what I'm saying. And I know they got other people, and I'll say this. They making the play. The Bucs are making the playoffs.
Yeah,
and I think that, and actually, but the biggest game of the year, in my opinion, is the Vikings game.
Yeah,
because I believe the Vikings are right there, and they can't lose another tiebreaker. Mm-hmm. And I still believe a split with the Falcons because the Falcons are 4-2 under Raheem, and I hope Raheem gets that job seriously. Though he deserves another shot.
Yeah, he does.
And so the Bucs right now put themselves in a position where they can't take any weeks off, and they got to bring it. Yeah. And I hope with this bye week that people they don't get caught up in the COVID stuff. And also that I believe, and I give Arians credit on that because how he kind of managed that with his team. But I hope that they make sure that Minnesota's playing for a spot here. Mm-hmm. They have to make sure that they come out guns blazing with them because if you lose this game, we may be talking about the draft. And I really hope we don't because I want to see these teams in the playoffs.
You damn right, man. And that's where I'm at. I do not want to be talking about the draft at the end of the season. I want to be talking about who we're facing in the playoffs. All right. Mr. T. Smitty, I love you, man. Thank you so much for calling in. As usual, huge fan. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you and give me your final thoughts before I roll out. And because I've got some other people I want to get on here.
Yeah. Thanks for taking my call. Much love here, man. My Twitter, TSMITTY 3000.
Funny as hell.
And also, hey, by the way, when Alabama beat down LSU, I've been waiting for this game all year.
Hey, you take it easy now.
Hey, all I got to say is that if y'all watch Game of Thrones, it's winter's coming for real. I go nuclear on there. But hey, I enjoy talking to all the fans. Yeah. I got to shout you guys out, man, because I love talking to fans who talk about this stuff because we actually talk about things more than, hey, are you going to bring James Winston back next year? Well, how many picks he threw? And we got other people on the damn team that we have to talk about. And I actually like that.
Exactly.
Or
that's
just
what it's all about, man.
And I'll say this, and you're not, and like you guys, Evan, not starstruck with Brady, talk about the other things on the team, because Brady's not going to be win or lose this season. Mm-mm. It's the part around him that will decide this season, man. And you guys take it easy, and I'll check in with you later, man.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much. Again, that was to my guy, T. Smitty. T. Smitty calls in all the time. Let me see. My friend here is trying to call in. Raphael, if you could call me right now, the line's open. I do want to talk to you. I do want to get your thoughts. And, I just want to hear what you have to say, man. And I think that may be my last call. We'll see. We'll see if he's still around, if I can get him on here, see what happens here. Oh, a shout out to Samurai Ali from Loose Cannon's podcast. Thank you so much, man, for retweeting. I appreciate you, man. Again, guys, if you get a chance, there is a podcast I really want everybody to listen to, and that is the Loose Cannons podcast from earlier this week, because they are talking about this last game and how this game affected a lot of people. So I think it'll be dope to really talk about that. Nestor Cervantes, as usual. I didn't realize that Washington they have the third-ranked pass defense in the NFC South. Is that the NFC South or is that the NFL? And Willie Graham, as Willie Graham is saying, we are in the playoffs. So yeah, most definitely. Ramona K, what's going on? Do you think the Bucs can make it to the Super Bowl as a wild card? Tone and Romo said yes after the game ended. The Chiefs, Bucs. Wow, that's crazy. Ramona, to be honest, I don't. This is 2020. I've seen some crazy ass shit in 2020. I don't even know what to believe anymore. And I'm telling you what, right now, this is a team that you know, they if with the talent they have, they could go deep into the playoffs, or this could be a one and done. So I don't know how they recover. It's going to be interesting. And Ramona, what I would suggest is watching these next two games to see what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do, how they adjust, or if they adjust, if they get that running game more involved, and how they're using their weapons a little bit more, especially your tight ends. When I'm looking at the Minnesota Vikings, I really believe that the middle of the field is something that you can really exploit. And what the Bucs really have to do, especially on defense, is take what the defense, or on offense especially, is take what the defense is giving you and make the most out of that. But again, my guy just tried to call in one more time, 813-358-8154. I do want to hear from you. Raphael E. Yeah, please give me a call now. I was trying to look for you on here. I don't see where I missed a call. But anyway, yeah, Raphael, yeah, go ahead and give me a call back, 813-358-8154. Buc What You Heard. I've gone like almost 2 hours here. Almost 2 hours. Crazy. But again, I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. I guess Raphael didn't get a chance to call in, but next week, Raphael, if you want to call in, I'm going to try something different next week. I will put the link out there where you can actually jump on with me and be live. If you have a computer, laptop, tablet, whatever, jump on. Let's talk. Let's chop it up. You know, that kind of thing. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here because it doesn't look like I'm going to get him. But you guys, thank you so much for hanging in, and I appreciate you. Look for us next week. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, we will be on Bucs Report. So be sure to check us out on Bucs Report. We'll be talking about a lot of the same things. I will be taking phone calls for the next 2 days. So please, if you can call in. I do want to hear from you. My platform is for the listeners, so let's make that happen. But anyway, I'm out. Peace.
Now, the much
It couldn't have kept another ship, yeah. And it's like a lotus, so it's time to flip the script, yeah. Cruising through the bay on that fucking battleship, sold up, screaming out, Buc What Ya Heard. So Buc What